from being accused and exposed for domestic abuse, cheating on his partners, being sued for fraud, and allegedly being involved with more than one minor, Kylie Jenner's ex TYGA has certainly made rounds on tabloids and social media for all the wrong reasons. Itching to know more? Stay tuned till the end of the video because we have the scalding hot tea on how and why the 31-year-old has been canceled and exposed. Domestic abuse allegations. TYGA recently found himself in hot waters after his ex, Cameron Swanson, took to nearly 800,000 Instagram followers on the 12th of October to share details and pictures from TYGA and her scary altercation. The model posted a picture that showed her sporting a nasty-looking bruised eye, in which she tagged TMZ and wrote, "I've been emotionally, mentally, and physically abused, and I'm not hiding it anymore." In another video we shared on her Instagram story, she showed the sleeve of her sweater, on which bloodstains are clearly visible, that TYGA was allegedly the cause of. Although the rapper initially denied and rejected all allegations, a source close to him told TMZ that Swanson had shown up screaming, intoxicated, and uninvited. Swanson pushed back by sharing screenshots of her supposed chat with TYGA, in which he had sent a car to her house to pick her up and bring her to his house. Eventually, he willingly turned himself into the police, where he was arrested on felony domestic violence charges, but later made bail for $50,000. It's unclear how things are with the two, especially with Cameron, but seeing as she stepped out to a Halloween party sporting a red top, matching trousers, devil ear headband, and a smile, we're glad and think it's safe to say that the 22-year-old is doing better. Now, if you thought his ex's accusations were the first time TYGA had seen trouble with the law and mistreated a woman, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and you're in for surprises, so make sure to stick around to the end and see what they are. Invasion of privacy and being sued for $20 million. When you're famous, it's sometimes inevitably for you to have lawsuits thrown in your face, whether they be for any sort of baseless accusations made by someone to squeeze in their 15 minutes of fame, or just your basic behavioral misconducts that the average person would maybe have the privilege of being able to walk away from without losing any cash. But for TYGA, things definitely took a serious turn. The rapper seems to have always been on some sort of unsettling streak because in 2013, Alyssa Ray Ross, Isaiah Davis, and Elizabeth Velasquez filed lawsuits against him for breach of contract, invasion of privacy, and fraud. The women claimed that when they auditioned for the rapper's Make It Nasty music video, the casting ad mentioned that there would be no nudity involved in the video and that the girls would all be shot tastefully. This unfortunately was not the case, as the explicit music video showed the girls' bodies without their consent, which led to two of them suing him for $10 million each, which he eventually settled on. And if that whole ordeal wasn't enough to make you feel uneasy, another model claimed to have been sexually assaulted on the set of the same music video. She claimed that she was groped and her body grabbed by two different men and eventually sued for sexual battery, fraud, invasion of privacy, and infliction of emotional distress. It came to light that the same woman who had sued him in 2013 for $50,000 for allegedly being harassed among other horrifying things also claimed that she had yet to receive the full money from the Make It Nasty star and that he at that point still owed her a whopping $25,000. Yikes! His controversial relationship with Kylie Jenner. TYGA has been no stranger to making headlines ever since he signed with Lil Wayne's label in late 2008 and quickly gained fame for his hit single Rack City. But what skyrocketed his fame and helped him become pretty much a household name was undoubtedly his controversial relationship with the youngest member of the Kar Jenner clan, Kylie Jenner. Though the two only officially dated for a little over 3 years, the relationship was interesting to say the least, and being subjected to backlash from every corner of the internet, mostly because of the 8-year age gap between the two and the constant rumors of him cheating. The Dip rapper actually first met Kylie at her sister, model Kendall Jenner's 16th birthday party when the makeup mogul was only 14 years old at the time, and he was 22. And although the couple only began to date and made it official after she turned 18, we can't help but seem to side-eye things from the time they knew each other. Being an almost 25-year-old adult, you'd expect TYGA to know a thing or two about drinking and the law, but once again, he proved us wrong when he was seen offering Kylie, who was 4 whole years under the legal age for drinking, at the Kylie's Cosmetics CEO's 17th birthday party. A surprising name who seemed to have made a notable comment on Kylie and TYGA's relationship was none other than Ye West. The Donda rapper had stated that TYGA was smart and got in early, which when we think about definitely sounds far from okay considering that the fact that Kylie was 17 with TYGA being 25, and the age of consent in their state of California is 18. To thicken the plot, it seems TYGA was fully aware of all the backlash he received because in his infamous song Stimulated, which starred Kylie, he raps, "They say she young, she should have waited. She a big girl, dog, when she stimulated." He sampled a song called Children for this song, by the way, as if all of this wasn't distasteful enough. To make matters worse, earlier that year he had also released Pleaser, which many suspected was also about Kyga because he raps about catching a felony. He denied it and said he wrote the song before dating Kylie, but with the context of things, it's still quite gross and unsettling. The rapper certainly seems to make his morality dip with each piece of information we find out about him. The supposed drama with Molly O'Malley. You'd think at this point TYGA would know better than to be associated with anyone significantly younger than him. him, especially after he was met with constant media lashings and disapproval from the general public, thanks to the major age gap in his previous relationship with Kylie. But it seems that the three-letter word age has seemingly written itself out of his dictionary. TYGA was put on blast after 14-year-old Molly O'Malley claimed at a press conference that the rapper had been inappropriately communicating with her through social media. And although TYGA responded and said that he only reached out to the teen singer because he was interested in signing her to his label, and that the reason he asked to FaceTime repeatedly was so he could hear her sing, we still think this is something fishy and should be noted, and hey, can you really blame us? After all, it is no thanks to his notoriety when it comes to minors. If you look at everything that was brought up, TYGA didn't even initially bring up the topic of singing at all. Things may have died down on both ends eventually, but this mess and conversation TYGA had with Molly was reportedly more than enough for Kylie to briefly split up with him. He really should be more cautious because we all know it's not the first time he was accused of talking to other women while being in a relationship and possibly cheating on them. Seems like trouble somehow always finds its way into TYGA's life. Offensive lyrics. One of the most important factors that contribute to your fame is, without a doubt, your fan base. The people who buy your music, stream it, come to your shows, and endlessly support you. And with the existence of the internet and social media, expanding your reach has never been easier. TYGA may have gotten his big break being signed to prominent rap figure Lil Wayne's label, but his steady rise to fame was made possible by the never-ending support of his fans. The power of the internet has allowed artists like him to expand their fan bases to right about every corner of the world, and allowed their music to be consumed by people of many different ethnicities. So, the last thing you'd want to do in a position of power or fame, or both, is offend any of the people who genuinely support you. Unfortunately for TYGA's fans, things did not look pretty after the release of his song Money Mouth, in which he raps a lyric that goes, "Got a Chinese bee, it's a ling ling." To no one's surprise, he received backlash from his fans for the lyric that reeked of blatant racism and ignorance, but it seems that the rapper is unbothered by it, seeing that it was released over a year ago with no comment from him to date acknowledging his clear wrong. It's important to note that it's always subtle slip-ins of comments like the ones in TYGA's lyrics that eventually lead to passive-aggressive as well as casual racism and cause unnecessary harm. We, for one, think TYGA can and should do better and be mindful of his audience and respect them. That's all we have for you guys today. What do you think of TYGA and his seemingly far from great public persona? Leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts and who you'd like the next video to be about. See you in the next one. Bye!